Byron Donalds hit it on the head. We should not be relying on the judicial system to hinder us from expanding our energy in this country. Hey, what is going on? Thanks for coming by the channel. Check this one out. Representative Byron Donalds point blank asked the question if China is interfering with our American energy policy by paying American law firms to sue the government. Here we go. Let's see what happens.
Gentlewoman yields. The gentleman from Florida, Mr. Donalds, is recognized for 5 minutes for questioning.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it's important to first note out for the record that the use of quote-unquote dark money, especially since 2020, has actually been dominated by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. The New York Times has reported on this. The Hill has reported on this, that most dark money, whether you want to talk about the court or politics or whatever the case might be, actually comes from the political left and the Democrat Party. And it's not been written about in the pages of the New York Post. That comes actually from publications that typically lean left in the United States.
Say what?
Real quick, Mr. Chairman, I want to actually kind of change speeds a little bit in some of what we've been discussing and do talk about some potentials that may exist affecting our judicial system. This is really for all the witnesses. Are you aware of any specific examples or instances of the Chinese government paying American law firms to sue for certain causes that would actually embolden the CCP's policy here in the United States? Anybody?
Congressman, thank you for the question. I am not. However, the reason for that primarily is because we don't have access to third-party litigation funding agreements. We don't know in many cases who's funding these litigations, and that's why transparency, disclosure, regulation around this industry is so very important.
Okay.
Okay, so what's going on? Why are we allowing outside sources that we are unable to identify to get involved in our judiciary system when it comes to us making our own energy? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. If you have an answer to that, please put it in the comments. But for me, I'm wondering, why would an outside party worry so much about what we do here when it comes to our energy, unless it stops us from being energy independent and keeps us trapped in working with people outside of this country? That's just my opinion, but let's just keep going.
Thank you for that. Quick question on follow up on that one is: do you guys believe that third-party litigation has the potential to discourage and hamper American innovation?
Absolutely. I would look at the Gulf of Mexico as one of the most premier innovative energy hubs in the world. We're ready to deploy carbon capture and storage. We're ready to invest in hydrogen, offshore wind, oil and gas. We can do it all. But every one of those forms of energy, whether it's oil and gas, wind, carbon capture and storage, is subject to litigation, and that threatens the ability of the U.S. to be the leader when it comes to deploying and advancing new technologies, and it sends that overseas. Our companies are doing it, they're ready to do it, and they want to keep doing it, but the court system holds it up.
All right, let's build off that a little bit, because one of the main...
Okay, think about that for a second. We have the capabilities to produce not only the fossil fuels, but the green energy. And to me, that's what both sides want, right? And if we have the capability, why is our own government stopping us? Or why is outside parties litigating and having our own law firms sue our own country so that we can't make that happen?
That's a ridiculous question.
If we started using, like he said, the Gulf of Mexico, think about how much the price at the pump would go down. The cost to heat your house would go down. It's a win for us, but yet here we got this outside sourcing. That's crazy.
Main topics when you're talking about some of the renewable energy sources. is also deals into critical minerals, and rare earth minerals are a part of that. We know that China basically controls the green tech supply chain. No matter how we want to talk about it here in the United States, those are the facts. Do you believe that China is a vital linchpin in the solar and wind supply chain in the United States?
Yes. Thank you for that question. Right now, the vast majority of our renewable energy technologies come from China, and we have very limited manufacturing capability in the U.S. I'm proud to say our state has one and soon to be a second solar panel manufacturer, but a lot of their materials are still coming from China, and I hope we can be honest about that and think about how we change that situation.
If we took China out of the supply chain equation, can the United States currently build an offshore wind farm? Mr. Miloto. Sorry,
We're moving in a direction of being able to do more and more of that in the U.S. We're building manufacturing plants. Well,
hold on, real quick. Because one of the things in Congress we hear a lot is, and it's not just here in hearings, we hear it in meetings all the time, we're positioning ourselves, we're on our way to do that. Today, if China was removed from the supply chain equation, could we today build an offshore wind farm?
I don't know, to be honest.
I would actually probably say that if you don't know, then the answer is there's no way it's going to happen. In your personal...
So there you go. We can't even build what we need to make this country's energy better. A wind farm, that's the green energy, right? That's everything that the left wants.
Shut down Shell! Shut down Shell! Shut down Shell! Get out! Private criminals! Private criminals!
But because we're beholden to China, we can't even make that here. Make that make sense, because it doesn't make sense to me. We should not have to rely on other countries to take care of us. Not if we're supposed to be the powerhouse, right? The strongest country in the world, but yet we can't do anything on our own. Come on. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that.
Opinion, do you think prices of the electricity generated from offshore wind would go up or down if the United States had the capability of domestically mining important minerals and the ability to manufacture critical components? So if we basically did it all internally here in the United States, do you think the cost per kilowatt hour would go up or down?
The movement of the sector continues to drive costs down because of efficiency and cost effectiveness over time, and the scale is driving toward greater and greater efficiency. So doing it in the U.S. should not slow that down.
Okay, all right. Listen, I think that's all I need right now. I think one of the things we should be concerned about, and Ms. Wayne, I think you said it initially, is that one of the issues we are clearly seeing with third-party litigation is that there are, quote-unquote, dark pools that are funding all kind of lawsuits on all kind of sides of the aisle. And I do think that there is some levels of transparency that we need to find around this, because we shouldn't be using the civil litigation system to create policy that frankly belongs here in the halls of Congress and in state capitals across the country. With that, I yield back.
Facts. Byron Donalds hit it on the head. We should not be relying on the judicial system to hinder us from expanding our energy in this country. That should come from the halls of Congress, the president. They can set that up. But no, it's easier for us to let China interfere, to let other countries, as he put it, the dark money, interfere with us and keep us trapped where we can't do anything without their help. I don't know. I think it's crazy. It's something that I definitely think needs to be changed. But let me know in the comments what you think. And if you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe. And when you do, let me know in the comments so that I can get back in touch with you. Give this video a like, and most definitely, please share this video so this message can get out. Because I don't think too many people understand what's happening and why it's so difficult for us to become energy independent. This message needs to be heard, so please share this out. So Until next time, I'm Kix. Thanks for watching.